Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now we want to discuss about experiment 12, that is gravimetric analysis of phosphorus in plant food. This is our group members, and my name is Muhammad Faisime bin Muhammad Fairuz.
My name is Afdal bin Kifli.
The objective of the experiment to determine the content percentage of phosphorus in plant through gravimetric analysis.
The plant food sample was obtained and the set of number written on the label was recorded. The plant food sample, weighing between 3.0 until 3.5 gram, was weighed using weighing paper and transferred into a 250 ml beaker. About 35 to 40 ml of distilled water was added and the mixture was stirred with a glass rod to dissolve the sample. If the sample did not completely dissolve, the insoluble material was removed by filtration. To the filtrate, approximately 40 ml of 10% MgSO4, 7H2O was added. Then, about 100 of 2-MnH3 was added slowly while stirring. A white precipitate of MgNH4PO4, 6H2O was formed. The mixture was allowed to stand at room temperature for 10 minutes to complete the precipitation. A filter paper was accurately weighed, folded, and fitted into a glass funnel. The paper was weighted with distilled water to hold it in place. The precipitate and all the solution from the beaker were carefully transferred onto the filter paper. The precipitate was washed by adding 2 to 3 portions of 5 ml distilled water. The precipitate was then rinsed again with 2 10 ml portion of 75% isopropyl alcohol through the filter paper. The filter paper was removed, placed on a numbered porcelain evaporating dish, and allowed to dry on the bench for 2 to 3 days or dry in an oven for 24 hours at 60 degrees Celsius. Once the MgNH4PO4 6H2O was thoroughly dry, the filter paper together with the precipitate was weighed. The mass was recorded and the percentage of phosphorus in the original sample was calculated.
This is the results that we obtained from this experiment. The plant food name was Baja Special Green. The percentage of phosphorus content written on the label was 15%, and the mass of sample that was used was 3.1444 gram. The mass of filter paper plus MgNH4PO4 is 1.9555 gram, and the mass of filter paper was 0.8089 gram, and the mass of MgNH4PO4 was 1.1466 gram. For the calculation, use gravimetric factor and mass of MgNH4PO4 to calculate the mole of phosphorus. First, we need to find the molar mass of MgNH4PO4, that is 137.33 gram per mole. And now we use gravimetric factor, that is molar mass P divided by molar mass MgNH4PO4 times A per B. And the answer that we get is 0.2255. Now we find the mass of P, that is 0.2586. And lastly, we find the mole of P, that is 0.00835 mole. Next, to find the mole of P2O5, we need to find the molar mass of P2O5, and that is 141.94 gram per mole. Now we use the gravimetric factor, that is molar mass P2O5 divided by molar mass MgNH4PO4 times by A per B, and the answer that we get is 0.5168. Now we find the mass of P2O5. The answer is 0.5926 gram. And finally, the mole of P2O5, that is 0.004175 mole. The phosphorus content in plant food is usually expressed in terms of P2O5. To calculate the mass and content percentage weight per weight of P2O5 in the sample, first we need to find the molar mass of P2O5, and that is 141.94 gram per mole. After that, we find the mass of P2O5, that is 0.5926 gram. And lastly, we find the percentage weight per weight of P2O5, that is mass of P2O5 divided by mass of sample times 100%. And the final answer is 18.85%. And lastly, we compare the result from the amount weight per weight percentage stated on the label of the plant food. To calculate the percentage error, first calculated value minus true value divided by true value times 100%. And the answer that we get is 25.76% of error. For the discussion of this experiment, the expected phosphorus content of the plant food that were expressed as P2O5 was 15% as stated on the sample product. However, the result shows a higher value of 18.85% weight per weight P2O5. The percentage of error 25.67%, indicating a noticeable deviation from the expected value. These errors in the experiment can be caused by several reasons. The higher result may be caused by incomplete and imperfect precipitation, leading to impurities remaining with MgNH4PO4 and increasing its measure mass. Thus, it is important that the precipitant should be slowly introduced with constant stirring. This helps in large crystal growth, and the level of supersaturation is also decreased. This experiment shows that with careful technique is applied can reduce the experimental error.
In conclusion, the content percentage of phosphorus in plant food can be determined through gravimetric analysis. Phosphorus was precipitated as MgNH4PO4 and quantitatively analyzed through the experiment. Although the experimental result deviated from the expected value due to experimental error, the method proved to be reliable and effective when proper laboratory techniques are used. This is the reference that we refer. That's all from us. Thank you.